So my goal of these is to share one idea and then answer a couple questions. And they go about 15 minutes long each, 15 around there. So here's the Post-it note. I'm going to write one idea and I'm going to write down, here's the idea I'm talking about today. Fourth wall. It's backwards. I'll fix that. I'll iterate on that too. Fourth wall. That's one of my goals this year. One of my goals is to, let's do the ring light. Does my skin look better? I forgot to set the ring light. Oh, it's crazy of me. Let me get a little closer. I want to break the fourth wall more in 2021. I love having kind of weird, unique goals. I have a bunch of standard goals. I have a pretty long list of goals in this notebook. Like right now, if I open it up to my goal page, because I'm working on stuff, I'm workshopping, as it were. Let's see. I have 18 different goals for 2021. Some are one-time goals. Some are lifestyle goals. Oh, David Mike, it's not backwards to us. That's good to know. That says fourth wall. So one of my goals is to break the fourth wall more often. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that whenever I create something, it's very tempting for me to create it as a serious writer or a serious speaker or a serious thinker. Like I get into this space where I'm like, how should I write this book? How should I share this video? How should I do this? And I get really locked up with perfectionism. And I don't think I'm the only one that does that, because I think anytime you sit down to create something, whether it's you're going to be a photographer, whether it's you want to lose weight, whether it's you want to think about being a mom or a dad or a husband or wife, anytime you feel the word real come in, be careful. Anytime you go, what would a real dad do? Or what would a real writer do? Or what would a real runner do? Or what would a real whatever do? I think you're in a dangerous spot where you're not going to really be yourself. And you're not going to really lean into your unique strengths, the things you're good at. You're going to play a role. And it's not fun to play a role. You don't get to be yourself. And you don't get to be fully creative. And so one of my goals this year is I want to try to break the fourth wall. And if you're not familiar with that phrase, the fourth wall is kind of the example I used yesterday was, when on Saved by the Bell, when like Zach Morris would turn and talk to the camera. So like he's talking to Kelly or Slater. He's like, hey, gang, what's going on? We're at the Max. They were always going to the Max. As a kid, I was desperate for a hangout place. Like the Peach Pit and the Max were amazing. Central Perk, third. I've already named 3 places. Fourth, the Diner in Seinfeld. Every show had a central place. I didn't have a central place as a kid. And I was like, man, I could be like Zach Morris if I only had a place. Or who was the girl they added randomly for like one season? She was a tough girl. She wore a leather coat that she rolled up. Have you ever in your life seen somebody roll up the sleeves of it? Like that is some commitment. But Zach Morris would turn and talk to the camera. And so what happens is that when you create something, it's really tempting to build a really, really thick fourth wall where you're like, I got to be perfect. I got to look a certain way. I got to act a certain way. I got to do these things this way. And you never break the fourth wall. You never stop and go, wait a second. Hey, let me talk directly to you. Let me share an idea, because you end up playing a persona or a role. And sometimes you've been around leaders who are like that. Like you've been around, it could be at a company, like where there's a leader and they could be leading a small company. And you're like, this dude, this lady is not being honest. Like I would relate it to one of the lessons I teach is that old school leadership said, if I share my mistakes or my weaknesses, people won't trust my strengths. New school is if I pretend I don't have weaknesses, people won't trust my strengths. I think especially this next generation, Gen Z, millennials, they can spot you being fake from a million miles away. But I'll be honest with you, it's tempting because you want to kind of control it. You want to look a certain way. So my goal is to break the fourth wall. That's part of why I'm doing these videos. I want to stop and go, hey, let's talk about what's really going on. Like, what are you really excited about? How can I help you? What's something that's working for me right now that I think would be interesting to you? What are questions I could ask? It was Tori. Tori was the Saved by the Bell tough girl. That's right. And I think I'm right that she rolled her sleeves up of a leather coat. Again, I don't know who does that. So that's my goal for you today. I dare you to check yourself before you wreck yourself, obviously. But check yourself with your goal. Stop when you're in the middle of it. Go, wait a second. Am I playing the role or am I being myself? You see, people always give that advice. Like, it kills me when somebody goes, if you want to write a book, just like use your authentic voice, as if that's a thing you learn one day and then do forever. For me, my voice is slippery. I'm constantly grabbing and going, I got it. And then I start to write and it slips away again. I got it. And it slips away again. So like, if you want a physical step you can do to make sure you're being yourself or being honest with your voice or taking the kind of photos you want to do or building the kind of marriage you want to have, ask yourself, am I breaking the fourth wall or am I building the fourth wall? I think that's a good question for 2021. Am I breaking the fourth wall? Like I'm knocking it down. I'm being an honest relationship. I'm creating things that are real in my voice, or am I building it? An example for me would be, I like to be funny. Like I like to be funny. In my real life, I like to be funny. So then why, when I get on camera, do I feel this like intense pressure to be like, say something meaningful, like constantly say something? Like that's not what I do with my family. Like when we're joking around, that's not what I do. One of the bits that I'm currently doing. And it's funny to think that I have bits I do with my family, but let's be real. I 100% do. One of the bits is that I've told my family I'm going to become a knife guy. Like I'm 100% going to become a knife guy. I probably opened that the wrong way. My brother, I have a younger brother named Will. I have a younger brother named Bennett, gave me a knife for my birthday. It is a Benchmade knife. And now I'm like, I'm in. I'm going to be a knife guy. I'm 100%, like, that's what I do. Like, I'm going to be that guy that, like, I'm going to wear it like this. Like, when you see me, I'm going to be like, I think it goes like this. I'm going to be like, and I'm going to lead with that. I'm going to be like, oh, you need anything cut today? Because I don't know if you're noticing that you got a box you need open? Like, if you have twine, does anyone have twine? Like, if you're ever in a situation, say we're at the same place, and you're like, oh, because sometimes when you try to untie twine, it just tightens. Like twine is a huge jerk. Twine is one of those things that just tightens on itself. So if you're ever in a situation like that and you're like, we can't get this twine opened up, I'll be like, don't worry. I got this right here. So now oh, Tony, look out, Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Is that the largest knife store in the world? Yeah. So every time, here's the story. There's a knife store in like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area, which is like Panama City in the mountains. And every time we drive by those signs, I'm like, do we have time to stop at the world's largest knife store? And no one in my family will go along with me. So the last time we went, my family went ahead of me. I had to work, just feeding the family, like just, giving. So they went ahead of me. I called from the road and I got my oldest daughter. I said, hey, can you ask your mom a question for me? And she thought, oh, this is going to be a serious question. And I said, ask your mom if she wants me to stop at the knife store by myself or if she wants to join me. Like, do we have time? Like, when did we want to go together? And my daughter just started cackling. So yeah, I'm going to become a knife guy. So that's my thing. Ask that question. Am I breaking down the fourth wall? Am I being honest? And am I communicating? Am I doing the photos I want to do? Am I raising my kids the way I want to raise them? Am I being honest? Or am I building up a fourth wall? Mine sometimes is like titanium. Like there's just layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. And I think part of it is like, for me, once I built a platform, I was like, I got to maintain this exact platform. And then I started to do stuff that wasn't even in my voice. And so now I'm like, oh, 2021, I'm going to be like sledgehammering that fourth wall, like over and over and over again, which is why I'm doing these lives. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching these. I'm going to keep making them because they're really fun for me. And hopefully you get to learn, you get to laugh, and you get to know that, like, if you ever are like, I need something cut, like, look, if you're ever like, does Jon Acuff have a knife with him? I probably do. And if you have twine, I can take care of that. See you guys.